Hi, I'm Christopher Williams. This is Sydney's on the Clock. We need no introduction. I'm Chris Williams, and this is...
My name is Sydney Couye, also known as the sports journalist, and I am so excited to be back. I know y'all missed us. I swear, we're not going to miss any more shows. I was sick last week. We're a lot better now.
Yeah.
Chris?
We are good today. So let's start it, Sid. Let's start it. So Kim Mulkey, after the situation with Flau'jae Johnson and Camila
Well, actually,
Cardoso.
before you, not even to cut you off, go into detail because maybe our viewers may not know exactly what took place.
So basically, this was the SEC Tournament Championship. LSU lost 79-72, so it was a nail biter. But during that situation around, I guess, the fourth quarter, basically?
Yes, it was towards the end of the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less. You had Flau'jae Johnson get pushed down by Camila Cardoso.
Yeah.
And then it was basically a big pileup of the team. Haley Van Lith had snuck in a couple punches too. Then it was a lot of ejections going on. The whole bench was cleared. Dawn Stanley was like, why would you do that on the sidelines looking at Camila Cardoso? And also too, and Angel Reese actually was not in the mix of it at all because she had rolled her ankle, not even probably a play or two beforehand. So it was like different clips where it was being shown of what had happened. But she looked at it and she sat back down on the bench, which I completely understand. It has nothing to do with you. Sit down.
I'm gonna say this. Yes, she might have had. This might be a bad take, everybody, but I'm just gonna say it. At the same time, you have to stand up for your teammates. You can't just sit. I know she's injured, Sid. I know she's injured, but at the same time, you got to stand up for your teammate. Like this Camila Cardoso, what, 6'8", 6'9"?
Mm-hmm.
She's very tall.
6'7", but yes.
So basically, during that situation, I feel like if I was Angel Reese or if I was Haley Van Lith, I'm standing up for my teammate.
I don't agree. I feel as if there was enough presence already on the court. You had, whenever Flau'jae got pushed down, you had about 3 people off the LSU bench, one of them, including Haley Van Lith, completely took control of the situation, pushing boom, 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 boom. However, I don't think Angel Reese had no rhyme or reason to get involved in the first place because you got to think about it from a business standpoint. Yeah. She is worth an NIL evaluation already over $1 million. She has people and sponsors who are looking up her. She has people, especially kids, looking up to her. So how would it look if your person that you've been broadcasting as a spokesperson for X brand for paying X amount of money for is getting into a fight on the court? What type of role model is that? Even though I feel like fights happen, don't get me wrong, they play sports.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. Especially it's inevitable whenever it is a contact sport like basketball. But for you to say that she should stand up for her teammates, I don't agree at all. Because, for instance, she had just rolled her ankle. So what is she going to do? She just rolled her ankle maybe a couple of plays beforehand. She was nowhere near the actual altercation because this took place around the half-court line. She was on the bench, or at least by the bench, because she was still walking her ankle off. Yeah. So in her mind, that has nothing to do with her because she already sees the rest of her teammates handling the business. If anything, if she's wanted to be the team leader or at least on the court, or she wanted to be the team leader at the time, I'm pretty sure there was a conversation had in the locker room. But honestly, in terms of if there were to be more fights, I say let it happen. I feel like a lot of the times people think just because it's women's sports that they should be more delicate, they should be more fragile. No, these are 6'7", 6'8" women who are playing contact sport. They're going to get hair pulled. You're going to get elbowed a couple of times. You're going to get pushed down because you never hold the same instance whenever it's the men's. Think of what happened in the Pistons in 2007.
Yeah. That was the Palace.
Malice at the Palace.
Meta World Peace. He fought a fan as well.
My point exactly.
And,
but everybody was living for that. But just because it's a group of girls, where's the difference? Where do you draw the line?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Because it's a rivalry game, I get it. The hair pulling, the camaraderie of that. But at the same time, you gotta really think about it. Okay, if it's getting too much, I'm gonna need to step in. I'm gonna need to,
No. There is enough people stepping in already. You already had the entire bench cleared. They literally had to play all their second, third string people because all their first string people were not able to play. What more do you want?
I mean, you need that. You need everybody, Sid.
This is going to continue as we continue with Sydney's on the Clock. We will be right back after a commercial break.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Right now, during the season of inspiration at Team Mazda, get 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new Mazda CX-5, or get 0.9% financing on the all-new 24 Mazda CX-90. Save thousands on over 150 new Mazdas now on sale at Team Mazda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
We are back with Sydney's on the Clock. Sid,
Yes.
with Kim Mulkey, she made some comments about Camila Cardoso. So during that time, she stated, don't push a kid, you're 6'8", don't push somebody that little. That was uncalled for, in my opinion. Let these two girls go at it. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, me personally, I feel as if when you take the responses from both coaches, because Dawn Stanley also had a response.
Yeah.
She basically said it's a part of the game. It was no hard feelings. That just comes with the territory. It happens. Versus Kim Mulkey was standing behind her team. And to me, I feel like they technically were both right in the situation. But at that moment in time, I don't think a coach should have egged it on because your players egged it on enough. If anything, I think that's whenever Kim Mulkey should have been like, okay, girls, we understand what happened.
Yep.
Things happen. It's a contact sport. Things are going to get aggressive. Not to mention, these are two teams who have a lot of spotlight on them at the time. These are two teams who have really big prospects on their teams, especially when it comes to WNBA draft. So do I think Kim Mulkey handled it a little wrong? Yes. But at the same time, too, it's Kim Mulkey. She's very unconventional as a person by itself. And that's why people love her. That's why Baton Rouge loves her.
And then you can
so
see
it comes with the territory.
Then you can see it like, I remember they were at like a Savannah, she was at a game or something like that. It was the Savannah baseball game. Then she kind of, egged the umpire on, showed a little, anger, basically.
Well, of course, but that's always been who she is. It's been before even she came to LSU, when she was at Baylor. That's who she's always been. Kim Mulkey has always been known to be very unconventional, does not hold her mouth. But again, people love that. She's a coach. We see that all the time with male coaches. Yeah. You know how many mic'd ups I've seen where male coaches are going off on their athletes? I'm pretty sure it's the same when it comes to her and her basketball team.
With, Greg Popovich, just all those elite coaches as well.
But moving on.
Yeah.
March Madness.
March Madness.
I feel as if the women's March Madness tournament is going to be the one to look out for, just because there is so much going on in women's basketball right now. You have your number one seeds, which is South Carolina, Iowa, USC, and Texas.
Yeah.
Who do you think is bringing it home? What's your predictions for the women's?
I'm gonna say I give it. Well, South Carolina is 30-3.
Mm-hmm.
But
32.
Iowa has that dog in them. They have Caitlin Clark. They have Kayla Spanky, if I'm pronouncing that, number 45 for Iowa. So they have a big tandem.
I don't agree. I don't think, and look, hear me out. Caitlin Clark, of course we know, she's already in the greatest of all time in collegiate athletes conversation. I give her props. But beside her, I don't think Iowa has anybody that actually has a good chance to be able to be basically, not necessarily her sidekick, but I don't think they'll be able to be, or she doesn't have any teammates to where she'll be able to completely take home this championship by herself. I don't think so. I think Iowa will go into the Final Four, but I definitely think they'll be knocked out in the Final Four. I personally believe as if South Carolina is going to take it all, just because, think about it. You have a team that lost all 5 starters and still went undefeated. That is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. And that's not even just to the players. That just goes to the coaching staff, the recruiting coaches. That just goes to Dawn Stanley and the way she's operating her team. That is amazing. But don't sneak up on Texas either. Texas has been doing the thing lately when it comes to their conference, especially USC. But USC is kind of in the same situation as Iowa. They have Juju Watkins, and that's it.
Nah, I'm not gonna say that. They have the young lady from Harvard, right?
Mm-hmm.
She put up like 25 points during the Pac-12 championship, but Juju, she only had about 12 points.
But that's one of the first times we've actually seen that happen. Normally, whenever you look at the actual field goal percentages and you look at the amount of shots put up, it'll be 30-9. Oh, yeah. It'll be the fact that you're letting one player take that much of control of an offense to where they're able to make 30 shots. What are you doing with the rest of your team? That's 4 other players on the court. What are you doing? How are you utilizing them? You're letting one person. Again, she's amazing, so she can do that, but you can't revolve your entire offense off of one person.
I mean, but you have to actually put a lot of people there. But we'll be right back with more Sydney's on the clock.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The winning play is the Buy Here, Sell Here event at the Team Automotive Group. Buy here and save on hundreds of certified and pre-owned vehicles. Or sell here and we'll pay you top value. Buy here or sell here and you'll be the winner at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Now's the best time to experience Mazda during the Season of Inspiration at Team Mazda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on your new Mazda. That's right, shop now, choose your new Mazda, and make no payments for 90 days at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
We are back with Sydney's on the clock. Sid, men's March Madness. Who do you think will win it all?
Well, right now you have your number 1 seeds, which is Houston, UConn, Purdue, and North Carolina. Automatically, if we're just going off of history or history repeating itself, they haven't had a back-to-back championship winner since 2007. So UConn out. I think, of course, last year they beat San Diego State. It was 76-59.
Yep.
But I believe the UConn Huskies are going to be the first ones out, the first seeds going out whenever they play against the FAU Owls. And I honestly think it's because the FAU Owls has been one of those underrated teams, but they're a strong competitor, especially since they're only going to be playing them within the second round. And the second round, you are going basically whenever you play people in the second round, it's basically like the first round. These are less competitive teams. These are teams who don't necessarily have the front court, the back court. They don't have great coaching depth, but that's not the case for FAU. FAU has great coaching. They have depth in all their guards, not to mention strong guard plays. And I don't think, especially with the season that UConn has had now, even like I said, going back to if history repeats itself, because there hasn't been a back-to-back championship winner in March Madness in the NCAA tournament since 2007. I think UConn's going to be out, but if anything, I want North Carolina to win. Do I think they're going to win? No. But if I had to choose a fan favorite, it would be North Carolina and Houston. Of course, hometown. That's me.
I'm gonna say this. Sid. You watched the Big 12 National Championship.
Yes.
During the Big 12 National Championship, Iowa State mollywopped Houston. Like, Shed, he's an excellent point guard. But at the same time, Iowa State has all their fans together. They have the whole city around them. And Iowa State...
But what's the difference between that and Houston? Houston has been at least in terms of basketball, has been a powerhouse for the past 6 years.
I'm not saying that, but at the same time, it's kind of like FAU, right? There's one of these unknown basketball schools, basically, who come out of the blue. Like, because, March Madness it's a lot of predicament. You never know. You can be like a 1 seed and you get beaten by a 16 seed.
Oh, we saw that last year, a bunch in the tournament, especially with that kid, I forgot, the one who was at Florida. He had the heart condition, then ended up transferring. Forgot what school it was, but they definitely beat a seeded team that wasn't supposed to happen. So I feel like, okay, you have a point. You have a point with that in terms of March Madness being very unpredictable. But if we're going into unpredictable teams and we're not going off the ones who we think is automatically going to win, what do you think about the Arizona Wildcats?
Arizona Wildcats. I feel like as though, like with Caleb Jackson, coming from North Carolina, I feel like, he's NBA ready, but at the same time, it's basically only him, in my opinion. But at the same time, if he has the necessary tools to make it there, not saying they're going to make it all the way to the tournament. They could, they might not. But at the same time, you have to have that Robin. You have to have the Haley Van Lith to that Angel Reese in order for that to happen.
Well, now that you mentioned Haley Van Lith versus Angel Reese, so going back to the women's tournament, or not even necessarily but we already know that LSU is going to be playing Duke in the first round. That's pretty sure that's a win in itself. Second round, they'll be playing Haley Van Lith's old team, which is Louisville. Do you think that she made the right decision transferring, especially in the way that she's being utilized in Kim Mulkey's offense?
I think so as well, because it actually...
No, I'm asking.
Yes, I think so, because it actually gives her an opportunity to... because she was that girl at Louisville, but at the same time, LSU gives her an opportunity to grow, able to market her, brand basically.
I don't agree. I think they're running her as a 2, and she's not 100% a 2. I think the way that they have her set up in the system, it's hard for her to come into her own because you have so many, basically she's interchanging with Flau'jae, she's interchanging with Last Tier, who thankfully finally got out that concussion or whatever she had. Thankfully, she's good. Yeah. But I feel like there is a lot more work that needs to be done, and I really don't see her developing as a player unless she transfers again. But we can continue this because we're about to go right back to commercial break, and this has been Sydney's on the Clock, coming back.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements. And that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Celebrate this holiday season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. And now you can make no payments for 90 days on our biggest selection of Hondas this year, making this the happiest time of the year. Come save now at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
We are back with Sydney's on the clock. The Steelers have chosen Russell Wilson to be their new starting quarterback after moving on from Kenny Pickett after 2 seasons.
Not necessarily. That's not what happened. I'm gonna stop you right there. That's not what happened. So the Steelers made a very, very smart decision. Obviously, right? So you had Russell Wilson, who whenever he was at the Broncos, he signed a $245 million 5-year extension. However, he still had 2 more years left whenever he was playing
With the Broncos?
from the Seahawks.
Okay.
He had a 2 more year left on his contract deal, which is why whenever he signed on with the Broncos, it was supposed to be a guaranteed 7 years because he still had those 2 years tied on. However, Russell was benched because, they had all those issues. It was an injury clause, but then he also had those issues, and that's whenever they brought in Sean Payton.
But then there was other issues as well.
That's what I'm saying. It was the issues between him and Russell, and then Russell too. There was like different, talk about him being hard to work with as a teammate, and Sean Payton, we already know how he is. Hey, that's that. But I'm getting into what I'm saying. Russell wasn't producing because, he had a terrible season. Technically, he had the worst season he's ever had in his career. But then followed up this past season, he wasn't terrible, but it was a lot better. But it got to the point to where it's like, you're not producing fast enough that we want you to. So
I'm going to say this.
If he didn't adjust his salary guarantee, they were going to bench him. And it got to the point to where they thought instead of just benching him, instead of just having him as a non-active on the roster, they were just going to completely find a way to get out his contract. But they didn't, which is why they still have to pay Russell Wilson $85 million going into this next year. And that's why for the next 2 years, the Broncos have an $85 million dead cap in their salary or in their pay negotiations because they're not going to be able to pay that to any person in free agency or any person coming into the draft because they only have the 12th pick. So they don't have that many options in terms of quarterbacks. But I'm saying the Steelers made a great decision, but it's whenever after Russell Wilson was signed, Kenny Pickett was then left and went to the Eagles. That's what happened.
But then also I just feel like, as agreeing with you as well, on this part about the Kenny Pickett, he didn't really just those 2 seasons, he had about 13 touchdowns, 13 interceptions this season. Every time he was on the field, he was either hurt or he didn't produce.
Oh, he's not a starting quarterback. He's not at all. And now
He's
we're
a
going to see
journeyman.
my point exactly. And now we're going to see him continuously having that same rhetoric whenever he plays under Hurts now that he's at the Eagles.
But I feel like he kind of thought that he was disrespected by the Steelers, but at the same time, maybe it was a blessing in disguise that this happened, because this allows the Steelers to rebuild and actually rebuild their brand of offense.
And it
since
does,
Roethlisberger.
because whether or not how we feel about the way Russell Wilson's been playing the past couple of years, he's still a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
And they still were able to pay him a salary minimum, a Super Bowl winning quarterback at that. They were able to pay him a salary minimum, an NFL minimum of $1.12 million. Because, of course, the Broncos owe him $85 million. So it was a steal regardless for the Steelers. You see, you see what I did there?
But also, I'm not gonna say it's a steal either. But Justin Fields was also added, to the Steelers. But at the same time, he's not going to compete for that job. But the crazy thing is, with Justin Fields, he gets to learn behind Russell Wilson, whether that's 3 years, 4 years, but at the same time, there's some cons towards that. And I feel like Justin Fields, he might feel some type of way because he's not starting, because, he doesn't have the opportunity to showcase his talents like usual.
Do you think Justin Fields will end up in the same situation like the Saints did Terry Bridgewater?
I'm going to say Teddy, he had injury. He was injury prone, so he's basically at the right position. So that's what I think.
Well, it has been a pleasure, of course. We are back with Sydney's On the Clock. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Sydney Couye
and Chris Williams
signing out.